Howdy folks, I'm tiptoeing tadpole, tickling tricky three-toed toads.
I'm Amber.
And here are more three-toed toads for us to tickle. Don't ask me why we're doing it as tadpoles, so let's get started with that. Alright folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Waking Up My Husband? I'm a 33-year-old female, and my husband, a 32-year-old male, have 4 kids. 2 ages 18 months and 7 months, and 2 older boys, 12 and 9 years old. My husband just took a new job as a bus driver, and we live in a capital city, a busy one at that. All of our children sleep through the night, except the baby who has one feed overnight, which I do, but last night our 9-year-old was sick at 4 a.m. and knocked on our bedroom door for help as he felt that he was going to vomit. I got up to help as my husband works and I'm a stay-at-home mom, so I get up to the kids when they wake up at night. My husband was angry this morning with our 9-year-old because he woke him up by knocking on the bedroom door, and now he's really tired and doesn't think that he should be driving a bus at work, and told me that I need to stop him from knocking on the bedroom door and to tell him to handle it himself, otherwise he will have to move back in with his parents because he needs sleep. I told him to go back to his parents then because I refuse to make our children go through illness alone because he wants to sleep, and I called him selfish. He said that I'm selfish for not caring about him and his safety while driving, and the fact that if he has an accident, he could hurt a lot of people. I do care and I do understand, and that's why I handle the children at night alone if/when they wake up. But I don't think it's fair to say that the children aren't allowed to knock on our bedroom door. He won't let them knock if they have a bad dream, and now he doesn't want them knocking if they're sick. It feels cruel to me, and I think being woken up is just what it means to have children. Whereas my husband thinks, rather than them knocking, I should go and check on them if I hear them, and if I don't hear them, then he thinks that they don't need help. My husband thinks that I'm being a jerk for not stopping the children from knocking, and thus making him move back home with his parents, and I think that he's a jerk for not letting our children need us at night. So am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think?
No, absolutely not the jerk. Let him run back home. It sounds like you might be better off with one less child in the household.
Yeah.
I mean, this is ridiculous. He presumably signed up to be a parent. This wasn't something that was sprung on him.
Mm-hmm.
And when you choose to be a parent, there are going to be difficult times because you have small children who are depending on you. Like, these aren't like teenagers. Like 4 years old is a very small child. And I mean, even when I was older than that, I would still go to my mom when I was sick because there's just something very reassuring about having someone who loves you, care for you when you are feeling really, really terrible. So, I mean, making the kids like write out their nightmares on their own is bad enough, but when they're actively sick, expecting a 4-year-old to just handle that on their own, that is inexcusable.
Yeah, I think that he is the one who's being cruel here. And if he can't be bothered to be woken up for 5 minutes through the night, then maybe bus driving is the wrong job for him if he can't, get enough sleep from that, right? Because quite frankly, like, I just don't know what, 5 minutes, let alone what would do to his bus route here, right? And maybe he can also talk to his manager and see if there's an alternative thing that he can do on nights where he's woken up, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he may just be afraid that he's going to lose his job or cause an accident or something like that, right? But honestly, like, maybe it's just the way I'm wired, but I just couldn't see, excusing and saying, I can't be woken up at all, otherwise, blah, 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 right?
Well,
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
And so maybe he needs to go to bed earlier in the night if he's worried about losing sleep or something like that.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is, like, when you choose to be a parent, there are going to be, it's kind of a give and take. There are going to be seasons where it is really difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And there are jobs that it does make it more difficult from than others, but I would argue that the fact that OP is doing all the night stuff alone isn't really fair on her,
Mm-hmm.
And again, I don't know all the details that go into bus driving, but I did read from someone in the comments who's a bus driver that, when he had a really rough night with the kids, then he would just, take another like type of job within that they needed done, and it was fine.
But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Belle Mom says, not the jerk. Your husband is a selfish jerk. You and your children deserve better. And Manifest Qui says, Not the jerk. Your husband is prioritizing his sleep over his sick child's basic safety. And Ice Seeker says he forgot that he's also a parent. It's wild that he called you selfish for not caring about him while your child is sick. If anyone is selfish here, it's him. And Winter Day 6836 says, make him a strong cup of coffee. And Opie replies, he spends $30 a day on buying coffees. Apparently not enough. Oh man, $30 worth of coffee and he still is not able to stay awake. I mean, maybe he needs a sleep study if that's the case here, right? Like, that might be the real thing. He maybe has something like sleep apnea, where he's not getting enough sleep at night. And if he's not getting enough sleep at night because of a medical condition, then that's a completely different thing. But that's something that needs to be addressed using medical care. And yeah. And Acrobatic Jaguar 623 says, I work a similar job and I can't count the number of times that I've gotten up with our kids. Parents don't get sick days. To quote an old commercial, a 5-minute wake up overnight is little more than a slight inconvenience. Your husband is a baby. Major Amoeba 6576 says, my ex was the same. I did all regular overnights, but when our kiddo was sick, he would swing into action. One night without a lot of sleep is completely doable, and there were a couple of times when he had asked for different duties because he was too tired for his job to be safe. Calibration of radars, things that could go very wrong if he wasn't alert. But a couple of times over 7 years is something an employer is happy to do for a good employee. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for accidentally letting my sister-in-law's 11-year-old daughter read an explicit book? Quick edit, I've just noticed that I accidentally put son in the title. It is meant to be daughter. Hello Reddit. I've never used this as a place before, so I'll try my best. I'm a 26-year-old woman living alone, and I'm on great speaking terms with my parents and 3 brothers. Every 2 weeks or so, me, my parents, and brothers all come together to make dinner together and enjoy the evening. Some of us, my brothers and I, bring along friends or partners. My older brother, who is 28, has been seeing this woman for 6 months now, and says that she is the love of his life. I've met her once before, and she seemed like a lovely lady. She is 32, and she has 2 children. One is 11, and the other is 8, and they are both children of her former husband. My brother does not care if she has a husband before and calls her children his own. Well, last weekend, my brother asked if he could bring along his girlfriend, and my parents said yes. Last minute, they told us that they had to bring the children as well, since they could not find anyone to babysit them. This wasn't a problem. My parents were delighted to meet them as well. I'll tell you all a little something of 16-year-old me at the time. She was a heavy One Direction fan and absolutely adored Twilight. Ever since I moved back in 2019 at 19, my room has stayed the same, as have my brother's rooms. My parents insist on keeping them this way, so we didn't interfere. Every weekend, I sleep in said old room, but I do not check or remember everything that was in there at one point in time. So when my parents told me to prepare my room for the children for if they wanted a place to stay, I just dusted the room and made the twin bed. I completely forgot about checking every nook and cranny for whatever demons I've left in the past. This will become an issue. When I brought the 11-year-old girl into my room, she loved it. She loved Harry Styles, and I have a lot of posters of him on my walls, so it was safe to say that she was pleased. I told her to look around, and I would let her listen to one of my One Direction CDs once I was done using the toilet. After a little while, I came back from the toilet only to see the little girl sitting on the bed reading what could only be 50 Shades of Grey. I remember my friend getting me that book as a joke since I was into Twilight, but I never read it. Why she took that book out of all the books is beyond me. When I entered the room, she put the book away, and we listened to one of my One Direction CDs. I did not think much of the fact that she was reading said book. Well, the next day, when my brother and his girlfriend and children had left, I stayed home to clean the house and do some dishes. When I was finished, I saw that I had a couple of texts from my brother and an unknown number. That unknown number turned out to be my brother's girlfriend, who was cursing and calling me names. She told me that she did not believe that I let her baby girl read such filth, and that I should be ashamed. My brother also texted me saying that I could have at least cleaned my room, which I did, but I just had forgotten about that book. I tried to apologize many times, but they didn't want to hear it. Apparently, the girl had been asking my brother and his girlfriend some inappropriate questions, and they did not like that. I've apologized many times, and I genuinely mean it because I do not like to have a disagreement with my older brother. But my older brother does not want to talk to me and let me know that he would not come to our next get-together. My parents and brothers think that it's funny, but are happy that I said sorry and think that my brother is in the wrong for not accepting my apology. Even though they support me entirely, I still feel bad. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think?
No, not the jerk. It's not like you thrust the book into her hands and like forced her to read it.
Yeah.
She was digging around your room and found something that you had forgotten about. And kids are going to read things that are maybe a little mature than for their age. It's just a fact of life. And that means parents sometimes have to answer some uncomfortable questions. I get that it wasn't fun for the parents, but it's just something that goes with parenting sometimes.
You know, the thing is that she's 11. And if they haven't had some uncomfortable discussions with her yet, they need to have some uncomfortable discussions with her, right? Now, I agree with Amber here. This wasn't an intentional thing. But we also have to remember that the 11-year-old sought out that particular book, and she probably sought it out because she knew what was in the book to some degree, right? And it probably isn't a coincidence that she honed in on that one particular book. I think that she's curious, and kids do get curious, and kids will sometimes pick up stuff that is not age appropriate, and that's just kind of the reality of the situation. That, you know, you can't live in a perfect bubble where kids are not exposed to any kind of adult material, right?
Right. Well, and honestly, this is a tale as old as time because, like, in the 80s, and 90s, kids, 11-year-old girls were picking up V.C. Andrews books from the grocery store, or finding them from their moms. Or I actually was gifted a V.C. Andrews book when I was very young. And some of those, they're not 50 Shades of Grey, but they have some material that may be a little questionable for an 11-year-old.
Yeah. And I mean, I think things have changed a lot over time. People have gotten a little bit more cautious about exposing kids to this material, and that's understandable too. But, this again was a mistake. It wasn't something that OP intended to expose her to. And I think that parents need to have discussions like this with their kids anyways. It's clear that she's ready to have these kinds of discussions if she's picking up material like this and is asking questions like this, right? This was just more like an excuse to kind of open that door, it feels like. And I think that, they'll eventually, hopefully, come to understand that this isn't OP's fault. OP gave a sincere apology, and I think that's really all that OP can do here, right?
Well, there's no, like, wiping her brain and getting the content out of it.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, My Brother Tried to Pull a Fast One on His Wife, and She Did an Uno Reverse, and I'm laughing watching him scramble. My brother, fake name Dick, and his wife Anna have been having some serious marital problems, which is 99% Dick's fault. Anna is a stay-at-home mom and goes to college online and has a side business with an MLM. But whatever, she has made some new friends and seems to be happier. Before they had kids, Dick and Anna had a solid marriage. Anna told me after the kids came, their marriage slowly went downhill, and now is on life support. Anna does everything for the kids, and Dick wants a medal for watching the kids for 30 minutes while Anna cooks dinner. He is more than capable of taking care of them, but chooses to let Anna do everything if he can get away with it. The MLM that Anna is involved with is having a big convention this week. We are locals, but Anna decided to do a staycation and is staying at a hotel near the convention with her friends. This has been planned for months. Anna told Dick to take time off of work and made it very clear that she needed the break and that this would be a really good opportunity to network. Over Christmas, she asked him if he got approved for the time off, and he said, yeah. And I told her that he's going to mess this up for you, and she told me that he better not. Well, she called me in tears, and Dick texted her that an emergency came up at work, and he would not be able to take time off. He had to put in a long day on Tuesday and would be flying out on Wednesday. He was so sorry and would make it up to her. I thought that she was going to have a breakdown and she could barely talk. I told her to calm down and finish packing and pick up the kids from school. I said that I would watch them until Dick got home. She did not want me in the middle, and I told her, too bad for Dick. And we have never been that close, and I don't care how he reacted. I watched the kids until Dick strolled in at 10 p.m. and told him that he was a selfish piece of garbage on my way out. He blasted my phone, and I put him on Do Not Disturb. I talked with Anna yesterday, and he blasted her phone as well. She ended up telling him that they could either get marriage counseling or see divorce lawyers, and it was his choice, but he better stop calling her unless it was an emergency with the kids or she was calling to talk to them. He cooled his jets after being told that. He stopped by my house, and I spoke to him through the Ring camera, and he asked me what he was supposed to do with the kids. I asked him if he ever bothered to request the time off from work, and he would not answer me and said that he had an important business trip. He said that Anna won't give him the contact information for their babysitters and asked me if I could watch the kids. I told him to get off my property with his BS. And if he were any kind of parent, he would have already had the contact info for the babysitter. Anna prepped meals for the kids, organized all their clothes for the week, and left a detailed itinerary of their schedule. What else does he need? Our parents and in-laws won't return his calls. He is flying solo this week and had to cancel his alleged business trip. Anna says that she will get to the bottom of that when they get home. I hope that she has the best time with her friends. I hope Dick does not get a moment of peace. No one is buying his lies or coming to his rescue, and I laugh when I think about it. Good luck, bro. All right, folks, what do you think?
I mean, I think that it's nice for him to finally do some parenting, as long as the kids are not being neglected. So my one concern is like, maybe OP or other family members should kind of keep an eye on the situation to make sure there's no active neglect going on, because if he doesn't know how to handle the kids for a few days when everything has been prepped for him and all he has to do is keep them alive, like, that's not a good situation. But I'm really glad that, OP was able to help Anna out and let her finally get the chance to do something that she values.
Yeah. I do worry about the MLM stuff because those can be pretty scammy and they can rob somebody blind.
Yes.
And I do get pretty worried about that whole situation. So I do think that maybe OP should have their eyes on that aspect of this, because MLMs can be very predatory and that can't be understated. But as for Anna and the Dick's relationship, I think that Anna has put up with enough of this, right? He needs to pull his weight, and this was clearly an attempt for him to get out of this situation. Like, he was never going to be interested in taking care of the kids, and he was just always going to try and pull a fast one and be like, oh no, I'm so sorry, I just can't do it, I've got a work emergency. I think that's really what it boils down to. I think that he had it planned from the start. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
What do you call dairy that is sad?
I would call it yogurt, because sad dairy is always yogurt, and yogurt is sad dairy. But I mean, I actually like yogurt, so.
I don't, so I could agree with yogurt being sad dairy, but the answer is blue cheese.
Oh.
The original joke was, what do you call cheese that is sad? And it was like, really, you're going to use cheese in the joke as well as the punchline?
Yeah, Amber is not a fan. And I have a special guest tea, some matcha. Oh, and folks, today is a very special day. It's Blue Cheese Day, so make sure to go find yourself some blue cheese and enjoy it. Or yogurt.
I'm saying no to both.
All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Friday. Congratulations. We made it to the end of the week. I didn't even know what day of the week it is. So, yeah, that tells you everything you need to know. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it on parenting.
If you sign up to have kids, you need to actually do some parenting.
Yeah. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.